Well, it's 6:30, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I realize that there might be some people coming in, but I do want to make sure to respect everyone's time, especially the people that are here. As I get started, I want to do a quick sound check. Can everyone hear me okay? Perfect. Can everybody see the PowerPoint okay too? Thanks for responding, Emily. So having that said, I would like you guys to please mute your microphones and unmute them at any time you want to share your thoughts, or if you have any questions that I may ask. Muting your microphones helps cut down on the background noise. And if you are not connected to the audio, please connect to the audio. I'm also going to put that in the chat as well. Good evening, Jake. Please connect to the audio. It looks like you are on the audio, and then just mute your microphone so it just cuts down on the background noise, and then you could unmute it at any time that you want to talk, okay? Uh-oh. So good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Module 5 live session. This is an overview of tonight's agenda. Tonight we're going to talk about, we'll start out with introductions, and then we will go over the live classroom expectations, important reminders. We will also check on how the course is going and then dive into some lesson content. And then we will review learning styles and teaching strategies from last week, and then go over some information from this week's reading in Chapter 8. And then you guys will have a time to have some questions. If you have any questions, you can ask questions. You could ask questions throughout the live session too as well. If you have a question, it's probably possible that somebody else has a question too as well. All right. So moving along, I just want to share a little bit about myself. I'm sure a lot of you guys know a little bit about me, but I did want to share a little bit tonight. So I'm Mike, and I live in Colorado. I am currently an education supervisor for a Head Start program in Denver Metro. My favorite children's book is Charlie the Caterpillar. It is a book from the 90s about a caterpillar who sets out to see the world and learns about true friendship, and and it's a really good book because you know, the caterpillar goes around and tries to play with different animals, and nobody wants to play with them. I do like this book a lot because it does teach about emotions and friendship and how it relates to real life situations with children when some children are not invited to play with each other, and how children get mean and upset with each other over different things. So yeah, that's a little bit about my favorite book, a little bit about me. Now, I would like you guys to participate and share your name, where you reside, and your favorite children's book and why. And make sure if you are going to talk to unmute your microphone, and then you could share.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm in Florida, and probably Clifford the Big Red Dog, because the girl's name is Emily too.
Oh, yeah, it is. Good connection, Emily. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else want to share?
Can you hear me? I'm Kelly.
I can hear you fine, Kelly.
Okay, good. I'm in Minnesota, and my favorite book is Brown Bear. Brown Bear.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
I
Why
like
do you
it
like
'cause
that?
the kids always read it to me because they have it memorized.
That's always the best, isn't it?
Right?
They do the work for you.
Right.
Well, thanks for sharing, Kelly.
Yep.
Some of you guys don't see, Amanda, she is from Florida. Her favorite children's book is The Kissing Hand because it shows confidence when faced with new challenges. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Amanda.
Hi. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Jade.
Okay. Hi. So I'm from Minnesota. I'm a Head Start assistant teacher in Bagley, Minnesota. And a really good story I enjoy reading to the kids is Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. They really, yeah, it really is. It's really good, and the kids enjoy it, and it gets them up and moving too, and really thinking about it. So, yep.
Well, thank you for sharing, Jade. And everybody, thank you for sharing. I do appreciate that. It's good to get to know a little bit about each other, and it's a little hard when you're not in the actual classroom. You're doing it online to get to know your peers and stuff. So this is kind of a good introduction for an icebreaker to get to know everyone a little bit better. So I'm going to move on with important reminders, or no, actually live classroom expectations. So if you are attending a live session, you're expected to engage with your instructor pretty much like you guys already have, just making sure that you're continuing to do that regularly throughout the live session. The purpose of the live session is for open dialogue, and questions are encouraged. If you cannot attend a live session, especially if the people that are viewing this recording, it will be posted the next day, and then you must complete the live session quiz to earn credit, and then answer any of the questions that I asked the class during the presentation in order to receive full credit. And usually when you guys do that, you'll have to be in paragraph form. I think it's a lot easier just to attend the live session because not much is expected of you except for sharing whatever I ask, which is pretty simple usually. So that is the live classroom session expectations. Any questions before I move on? All right. Hearing, seeing no questions, I'm going to continue on.
I have a question.
So, okay.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
it's
Sorry.
late. Is it like last time where we don't have a password or code thing if we attend?
Yeah, I'm not like other instructors. So usually I could see everybody who is online and who is participating. If you are not participating, I might write you an email and say, hey, you did not participate. Please redo the discussion questions. If you do participate, like everybody has been, there will be nothing else required of you. So hopefully that answers your question. There is no password, no passphrase. I know some other instructors do that. I don't do it. Usually I just have you guys sign your name at the end. That just tells me that you're here, but I could see who's on and who's off and everything like that on my end. All right, so I'm going to continue on. So the important reminders, the last day of class is approaching pretty quickly. It is going to be Friday, March 15th. No assignments will be accepted after 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time for any reason. The Module 5 discussion responses are due Saturday, March 9th. And the Module 5 course project, Lesson Plan 4, is due Sunday, March 10th. And we will go over a little bit of that later on in the live session. The Module 5 Field Experience Report is also due on March 10th. And all field experience hours should be completed and documented on this report. Just make sure to, just when I'm talking about March 10th, just make sure, everyone, that you understand that the time is going to change. I'm sure everybody, I don't know if everyone lives in a state where the time springs forward. So just make sure that you plan accordingly so you don't fall behind thinking it's an hour later than it actually is. And the last couple things, all field experience hours should be completed and documented on this report. You must have 30 hours of field experience on the report, or you will not pass the course. And then the following week, Module 6, so next week's Module 6 discussion, that will be due, and then that's due on Tuesday, March 12th. But no responses to peers or myself are required. Module 6 Field Experience Report is the last thing that you'll do, and that is due on the last day of class, which is Friday, March 15th. Does anyone have any questions? All right. Hearing and seeing that there is no questions, I'm going to continue on. So want to check in with everyone who is here, and if you are viewing this recording online, this is questions you are going to have to answer in paragraph form. How are things going as we are ending, as we end the course? Do you guys feel comfortable? Do you guys know what your guys' grades are to this point? And then lastly, do you guys have any reactions to last week's module? Feel free to unmute your microphone at any time to participate as well. That's great feedback to know. Thanks for sharing, Jade, Emily, and Amanda. I like that you guys are enjoying the class and that you are implementing some of the information that you have already learned, which is good. That's always good to hear that it's being implemented. What are your guys' reactions for Module 4? not having a live session, sometimes these chapters in between kind of get sometimes missed if we don't talk about them. So was there anything that really you guys stood out to you in Module 4? Learning more information about the lesson plan. Didn't know a lot about GAP from previous courses. Yeah, learning more about the lesson plan and lesson plan, yeah, really interesting because a lot of teachers that I know think that they know how to actually do a lesson and a lesson plan, and then they realize, oh no, if that's not how I'm supposed to do it, and they don't realize that they need to actually use SMART goals when they are doing a lesson plan. Ooh, yeah, the discipline and seeing everybody's views on it. Yes, there are different types of discipline and a lot of different views on it, and I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all method. I think it depends on the family and the teaching style and the environment, and a lot of it too is administration and making sure that you're abiding by policies and procedures too as well. Nice. Well, thanks for sharing. Yes, furthering your knowledge other than just doing the family fun night. Yes, and we will talk a little bit more hopefully about that and how to collaborate with families so that they are all engaged in some way, shape, or form than just a family fun night. All right. So we'll talk a little bit about the course project. Just wanted to take a few minutes to go over it. This is what you'll be completing. You'll be completing your lesson plan that you have been working on all term. What you want to do is you want to open your Module 4 Comprehensive Lesson Plan assignment. This should already include the components from the Module 2, 3, and 4 lesson plan assignments. You want to begin by going through the feedback that I left for you on your previous course project assignments and making corrections and additions where necessary. You can view my feedback on previous assignments by clicking on the My Grades tab on the left side menu of the course homepage, and then clicking on the assignment. You can view in text notes by scrolling over the highlighted areas. You can see additional notes by clicking on the rubric. Once you have made the necessary corrections, you can open the Module 5 Comprehensive Lesson Plan template, copy and paste the entire Module 5 template onto the bottom of your revised Module 4 Comprehensive Lesson Plan. Complete the Module 5 template and submit the assignment as one document. And then if you guys need additional support for this, you can view the short video available in the instruction for the assignment. And then if you encounter any problems as you complete this week's assignment, feel free to email or text me, or if you want to call, you could call me too. However you want to communicate to me, just make sure to reach out to me as well. Does anyone have any questions? Welcome back, Kelly. All right. Hearing and seeing that nobody has any questions, I'm going to keep moving forward. And I'm going to talk a little bit tonight about learning styles and teaching strategies. So last week in Chapter 6, you read about different learning styles and teaching strategies. Hopefully you read them. Excuse me. Learning styles are how individuals perceive it and process information. Now, having said that, there are 3 sensory channels that are most frequently used by individuals to take information. We have the visual, auditory, and the kinesthetic learners. Having said that, we talk about visual learners, and basically that is children that see the world by constructing or remembering mental images. Visual learners would prefer reading, observing, and the display of data and visual aids. So sometimes you guys have visual aids in your classroom. Maybe it's classroom rules or what you guys are going to do from one activity to the next. Or maybe it is a visual aid of the actual child itself going to a different center and using a name tag to be at that center. Anyways, the visual students, they rather learn by watching videos, film strips, pictures, and graphs, which help generate the subject. When taking a test, a visual learner would do better on a test if the test had a visual diagram. And then students who show a preference for visual learning style and are given instruction with visual aids will perform better when giving the appropriate materials. So, you know, like I said, teaching strategies that are usually around that can conclude demonstrations. I know I might have said to some of you guys in one of your discussions, can't remember which one, that I used to role play for the children about appropriate and inappropriate behaviors. It just gives those visual learners a sense of what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it, and that's how they learn. So, I mean, showing good examples and bad examples kind of helps them, you know, have that contrast opposed to somebody who might be an auditory learner or somebody different. So, having said that, you know, some key words that can be used to get the visual learners to pay attention are see, look, imagine, observe, search, and perceive. Now, when we talk about auditory learners, that's pretty much the child or the person learning the preference would prefer sound and make better decisions on what they have heard or read, and would prefer lectures and seminars and discussions and, you know, tapes. I don't know if maybe some of you guys have books on CD or any other material. They might be more likely to ask questions about what they have learned and what they have not have understood. Usually when they take a test, they would prefer taking a test by giving an oral examination or playing games such as like Simon Says or stuff to that extent. So a little bit about an auditory learner, and then the last is a kinesthetic learner. this is how I actually learn. I learn by feelings or feeling. So basically, these are students who are considered to be learners. They prefer to be actually doing. They're more hands-on. They also prefer trial and error methods of learning. So this type of learner would rather not learn by explanations or visual presentations and discussions. They would learn by actually doing it and making sure that they know how to do it and being hands-on with the experience, which will help them create and develop what they have learned. Basically, they usually learn for like a test by giving with task-oriented questions, and a kinesthetic learner would have better results at performing the task. So usually they're pretty much more task-oriented, which is a little bit about the kinesthetic learners. And it's important of knowing the learning styles for the individual preference, just because we want to focus on different types of information and the different ways of perceiving information and the rate of understanding information. And having said that, having the understanding of the learning style preferences of students can provide effective learning strategies for teachers to use. Students who share a learning style that is attuned with the teacher remember information longer and are usually more optimistic about learning. They usually get more excited about school. Often students will not do well in school if their type of learning is not used. Students not coping with various situations is one of the greatest challenges in education. You know, even in early childhood education, the transition period and transitions are usually harder for children. And I think by using the individual specific learning styles in the classroom, teachers can promote problem-solving skills. And, you know, these problem-solving skills that teachers do in the classroom to prepare students usually do it for real-life situations, and makes it a lot easier when they have to problem-solve different situations in life. So that's a little bit about learning styles and a little bit about how people learn and how children can learn. And my questions, if you are viewing this recording and if you guys like you guys to participate, please answer these two questions of how do you learn and why do you think that? Why do you think you learn in one particular way? And the next question is, what learning styles do you use in your classroom to promote children's development? I would like to hear from everyone. You know, for the longest time, I thought I was more of a visual learner, and then it really came to me that I'm really a kinesthetic learner because I only learn by doing actually things hands-on, which is good, I guess. I mean, everybody does learn it differently. Ooh, Amanda, thank you for sharing. Amanda is a kinesthetic learner because she likes to be hands-on and feels like it sticks to her brain better. I agree, but I can also learn the other two ways, but I choose it would be kinesthetic. I use a lot of visuals in our classrooms as we are learning colors, animals, and just introducing the alphabet, as well as auditory by constantly giving directions and repeating them over and over and over to my toddlers. That's funny because I repeat a lot of things to my toddler too as well. I guess auditory by constantly giving directions. Okay, thank you for sharing, Amanda. Kelly said she learns visually. She likes to be able to make it into a checklist so she can mark it off. It's almost kind of like a task, isn't it? Getting your checklist and your tasks and marking them off when you're done. Emily, why do you think you learn why do you think you're a hands-on learner? Yes, a visual schedule usually tends to help children a lot, especially if you have different language learners, if you have ESL learners or other different language learners. It does help them understand if you can't speak their language of what to do and how to do it and when to do it, which does help a lot of times in classrooms who have English as their second language. Yeah, sometimes people get into a different routine, Jade, and when something happens and you have to go an alternative route or think a different way, it's a little bit harder to problem solve. And that is the ultimate goal when we are working with children, is to try to problem solve and understand that things are not always the same, and life does happen and things do change. And how do we get to that place where we find resolution and we find how to problem solve in difficult situations? Does anyone else have anything to add? Yes, I also have that same problem too, Emily, when I'm given information from, say, some of my staff. They tell me something, I tell them to just write it in an email, because when you have multiple staff, I have about 50 other teachers that I have to deal with daily, and with all their schedules and time off and everything that goes all around, I can't keep track if people just come up to me and tell me that. So yeah, writing that down and making sure that it's in the email is a really good way for me to remember that they actually talked to me about it, or even if they didn't talk to me, I have it in an email, just so I could remember what was said. Or else, if it's not documented, I always tell them, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. Well, sometimes they get mad at me about that, but at the same time, I'm just like, well, you know, it's very difficult when, you know, trying to talk to about 50 different people a day and ensuring that we want to make sure we meet everybody's needs, but that is an expectation that I have. So. Great. I'm going to move on to the last thing of the night. I don't know if you guys had a chance to read the Chapter 8 case study, connecting with families in the communities. Just by a show of responses, did anybody have a chance to read the Being a Teen Mother and Being Single? If you didn't read it, that's fine. I just need to know, because if you have not read it, I'm going to read it to you guys, and then we'll just have a little discussion about that before we close for the end of the night. All right, so seeing that a lot of people did not read it, I will just read it. I'll try to be quick. But I just want to, so basically I'm going to read the case study, and then we're going to answer these questions that revolve around the case study, and what you guys do for in your program to connect with families and communities. And I could tell you a little bit what I do at our program, or what we don't do at our program. We do a lot of things at our program to connect with families in the community. So let me go ahead and read this. It's about being a teen mother and being single. So it starts out with, as I reflect back and move forward, there is no doubt that I was a troubled teen. Upon graduation from high school, I found out I was pregnant. What were my options? What would my life hold for my child and me? As a young Indigenous working class woman, I would become another casualty of social inequities that would position my child to follow a path of poverty and disempowerment. Yes, I had a loving family, and yes, I had a personal drive, but I didn't have wealth, racial, or gender privilege. Because of my perseverance and familial love, I entered an urban community college. There, I met a faculty member who helped me empower myself. Without his belief in me, I may not have been able to believe in myself. My daughter was born at the end of my first year. I was worried about how I would continue school and care for my newborn. My mentor encouraged me to bring her to school when my family was unable to help. He would watch her in his office while I attended class. I had an academic home. Now, not all my experiences were positive. Because I was a teenage mom, I was often talked down to, expected to do poorly academically, and it was assumed that I provided inadequate care for my child. For example, I was strongly encouraged by the college to attend parenting classes. Although I learned valuable information about the importance of play and had wonderful opportunities to learn songs and games with my child, I also was positioned as the teenage mother, the at-risk parent. These educators failed to understand that my life experiences gave me an incredible life tool. I was raised by a hardworking single mother and a loving family. My parental funds of knowledge came from a loving community that cherished each child as a sacred gift. Now, we may not have always been lavished with great gifts, but we were always immersed and loved. In reflecting back, I realized how much I believe in the power of fierce hopefulness through mentorship and love. For me, the stereotypical portrayals of teen moms and social inequities were what could have been my roadblocks. I urged all teachers and caregivers to examine their biases about teen moms and the social issues that impact the lives of young mothers. Every mom, as well as every child, deserves empowering spaces where they can succeed. Now, after listening to the case study, what are your thoughts regarding it? What can you do to be positive to support and keep on reaching outside and provide assistance where needed? I mean, that's one of the biggest things. I really think that the mentor did an excellent job in aiding and providing the support and resources for Kristen in this situation. You know, sometimes we do go through seasons of challenges. I don't know if anybody's a runner, but like in the marathon, it's hitting the wall and thinking that you want to give up and quit. And this young mom did not give up and quit. She actually partnershiped with her academic instructor, which is well, it's good to have positive morale and support systems to help you along the way, or kind of like a cheerleader by your side to help you in difficult life situations. So yeah, I just kind of want to hear a little bit about what you guys have to think about that. Yes, I also agree. I don't like stereotypical moms don't equal bad moms. You know, sometimes that's a perception, and that's how sometimes society looks upon them, which is unfortunate. But you know, they need to give the equal right, and they should be. You know, people should put their bias away. But you know, we do live in a world of imperfection, and people are imperfect, and people will judge no matter what. Doesn't matter who they are, which is unfortunate, but it's kind of how our society is. Yeah, I also thought too, Amanda, that it was amazing that she never gave up and she reached for help. You know, anything in life, you know, even when you guys are struggling, it's always good to always reach for help, even when you think that it's hopeless. You never know who or what somebody can do to impact your life at any given time. Anything else? What were your thoughts? You have a lot of good information here. So Jay says Jade says she works in a lot of situations kind of like this. You know, providing them love, respect, and trust. Sometimes just giving them a listening ear can help them refocus so they can thrive and just being supportive. I completely agree. You know, working at a Head Start myself too, Jade, it is a challenge, and you do come across single parents a lot, and a lot of times they just want to be heard, which is, you know, love. Maybe that's their love language. That's what they need, you know, at the time. Yeah, Kelly, she did feel really sad, and I know that you felt sad for her, and it's unfortunate, but it's so common in this world. You know, a real life situation. I don't know if you guys have encountered anything kind of like that in the work that you guys do, but you know, like Jake said, she sees that a lot. I see that quite a bit with the single young mom, or if it's a single young dad, or whoever it may be. You know, it could be, sides could be reversed too. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, even in my program, I had a little 4-year-old girl who is being taken care of by two elderly grandpas because the little girl did not have any parental figure in her life, and everybody that was in her life was either in jail or died. And these two older guys were non-blood related, which is, you know, sad to see. So a lot of her female figures are the teachers in the classroom, which is a big support for her. So yeah, it's really interesting how with our families in different situations, there's just different dynamics, and we really just need to be really sensitive to it. And I agree a lot of times too, being a single parent, they do become stronger and they do fight more and they do thrive to get out of a bad situation. My sister, she is a single parent, and she got out of a bad situation, which was probably the best thing that she could have done for her children. So yeah, I do understand. It does make you stronger, for sure. Now the next question is, how does your program connect with families in the communities? I can share a little bit with my program. We have a bunch of different things that we do. We have parent cafes, which are like little parent meetings that happen once a month, that we provide childcare after school, and the parents and different vendors come in to talk about if it's like behavioral health or different education classes or just different things that we offer. And we also have different workshops to help the family try to find jobs and trying to better themselves as well. We also provide yoga classes for the parents on different days. There's a Cookie Matters class that happens usually in the spring for several weeks that we post. And then one of our biggest things that we do as Adams County Head Start is we invite the whole county to this dome, our Adams County Regional Dome, where there's about 500 plus families from the whole community and our Head Start that are invited to participate in a free meal that we put on. And then there's different activities the kids do, and there's dancing and there's singing, and they just get a bunch of free books. And it's just a really, really, really strong community thing that we do as a program to ensure that we are collaborating what we can and how we can with the families in our community. Other things that we also do in our communities, we also, if children can't get to school because we do not provide transportation, we will give them bus passes and bus tickets to ensure that they do get to school, and we help them out in a lot of different ways in that sense. We also have a food bank that is right next door that they go to. One of my sites, I have a few sites that I supervise, but that is one of our sites that we do that to as well. And a lot of other things that we do too is we partner up with the Salvation Army. My father-in-law is the director of the Salvation Army here in the regional manager in the Denver metro area, and he ensures that all of our Head Start children and families get a meal and at least 1 or 2 Christmas gifts a year during the holidays, just to brighten up their day and to connect with them on just different levels. So Jade responded that she said in her program they have a lot of family and community events that they can participate and really encourage so that children could see the support from all angles of the environment. Kelly mentioned that once a month they do parents. Once a month the parents join the classroom after a meeting with the parent educator. The main center provides a class 2 days a week where parents and children can come. Parents go with a parent educator, then go on to college classes. Ooh, that sounds fun. It's always nice to have these special activities to reach out to families, and a lot of times it's making the partnership with the families, but it's also making partnership with your communities too. And you know, what kind of resources do you guys have to partner up to provide the resources that these families need? I am, you know, blessed to have my father-in-law to be a regional director to have that kind of push for our community, and just our Head Start program in general has tons of support and with the county, because we are through the county, that really does back us up and helps our families and our children in these different arenas. Jade also said she has a HUD, which is a housing and heating help, dental days where the children get their teeth cleaned and get new toothbrushes to take home. We help encourage vaccinations. We bring in our Polk County nurse whenever needed. We also have parenting and counseling classes when needed as well. That is, yes, Head Start has such a lot of different things that they do, which is just awesome. They also do have the funding too. That is another thing I didn't mention, is we do go to have the children who don't have insurance go to the children's hospital to make sure that their teeth get cleaned and that there is different any kind of medical needs that they do, that we have that kind of budget line for them too as well. Does anybody have anything else to share? All right. Hearing and seeing that nobody has anything else to share, I am going to ask you. Hi, Christina. You just caught the very end of the live session. You could view the recording online tomorrow when I post it. But in the meantime, just moving on to my slide, if anyone has any questions, this is a time to ask. Christina, I know that you just joined, so you might want to view the recording again to ensure that you might have a question in there that might be answered prior. But if This is the open time for anybody to ask any questions about anything. All the due dates and everything are pretty cut and dry. It's pretty direct. I'll give you another minute or so to ask any questions. But in the meantime, I do appreciate everyone's participation. Jade does have a question. Okay. Just making sure we do not have to do the live classroom questions since we joined the live classroom, correct? Yes, if you participated in the live classroom session, you do not have to do the live classroom question. You can, I will input your guys' grades by basically taking enrollment of just saying at the very end of this of signing your name stating that you were here. As Christina, I know that you came in late, so you're going to probably have to end up watching a recording. But in the meantime, if you guys don't have any questions or anything else, it's been great working with all of you guys. Feel free to reach out at any time if questions do come up. You guys have been all great participants, and I do wish you guys the best luck in the future. And if I do teach multiple classes, yeah, I might run into you guys again at some point, but have a good night, and thank you so much for everything. And once again, if you need anything, please reach out to me. And then at the end, just sign your name saying that you're here. So thank you. Have a good night.